Okay, so for this project, I'll be using 4 kinds of colors, and these are called In the Fill 4-ply yarn, which can be bought online in FB pages, in Shopee, or maybe Lazada. You can check out. It's called In the Fill 4-ply yarn, and I have in cream color. You can also use white if you have, but I don't have white, so I'm gonna be using the cream one. And this one is gray. I bought this one online on Shopee. Ang pangalan ng seller ay Crocheting Yours by Isa. So they sold this for about 40 per 100 grams. It's the most affordable yarns locally made here in the Philippines. And I'm going to be using this, I don't know what specific color because they don't come in labels, but maybe it's a little bit of a, I guess it's closer to mocha brown or caramel, or what else. This one I bought in Baguio at Hanger Market, so it's cheaper there. And then because there's a little black in the backpack of the Mang-Taè Doll, so I'll be using this one. It's called Lanalon yarn. It's a fingering weight kind of yarn. Sometimes I do double pull to make it thicker, and for this project I might use just 1 strand. And then for the hook, I want to make my tension tighter because I'm going to be making an amigurumi or a stuffed toy. I might use a smaller hook, 3, but I'm gonna test it with a smaller hook size to see which one fits. So later on you will find out what hook will I be using aside from the 3mm crochet hook. And also you'll be needing some buttons because in the Mang-Taè Doll, I've seen that they have used 2 kinds of buttons for the eyes. You have the black one, I think, which I don't have, but I'll be trying to look for one that is closer to black. Here it is. I have the black one, and it has a smaller one that is in blue, so maybe I'll try to look for blue one closer to the Mang-Taè Doll if I could find one, but if not, I'll be using another buttons that might look similar with the Mang-Taè Doll. So that's all we'll be needing, and of course you're gonna need some pair of scissors and some needles for weaving in all the ends. So in the next clip we'll be starting with the head of the Mang-Taè Doll, and I'll be showing you how to do it. For this project, I'll be using a 3.0mm crochet hook, and if you're using a different kind of yarn, you may use different kinds or any yarn of your choice. Of course, you have to check the hook that is recommended for this yarn that you're gonna use, and sometimes you have to go 1 hook smaller than the recommended size so that it will not have a lot of gaps or holes in it. So right now I'm going to make a slip knot, and then I'm gonna chain 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I'm going to chain 1. This is for the turning chain. On the second chain from hook, there we're gonna work our first single crochet. So work a single crochet until you get to the second to the last of the chains. Alright, so when you finally get to the last chain, we're gonna do 3 single crochets. So we have 2 already, 1 more, and then you're gonna pull this one to keep it tight, and then into the next available stitch. This will get us to the opposite side. Now we will work 1 single crochet into each stitch, and as you can see, I'm also hiding the tails as I work single crochets on this side. So keep working 1 single crochet except when you get to the last one. So when you finally get to the last one, this is where you have your first single crochet. So you're gonna add 2 more so that both ends will have 3 single crochets. So we have 3 single crochets here, and then 3 single crochets on this as well. And then into the very first single crochet that we've made, we're going to make a slip stitch. So the head of the Mang-Taè doll is more like square, so this is the reason why we are working in an oval shape. So we're gonna chain 1, and then from here on we will just keep working 1 single crochet into the same, or into each stitch. So to start every round, chain 1 and then work 1 single crochet into the same stitch, and then 1 single crochet into every stitch around. So that is what we'll be doing until we reach to the height of the head for the Mang-Taè doll. So 1 single crochet into every stitch around. Alright, so I finished my last single crochet of this round. Now to close the round, you're gonna work a slip stitch on top of the very first single crochet made. So this round 2 will be the repeat pattern, and we will just keep repeating this until we get enough rows or rounds to make the Mang-Taè doll's head. So to start every round, you're just gonna do the same, chain 1 single crochet into the same stitch, and keep going until you form the Mang-Taè doll's head. And I'll be showing you how many rows I made after this. Okay, so I'm in my 7th round, and as you can see, I've switched my hook from 3 to 3.25 because Mang-Taè doll's head is a bit lopsided, it's not even. So I plan to make to finish the rest of the part in this size, and then I'll be showing you after maybe doing 7 more rounds, I think, or maybe 5 to 7, so depending on the size. Alright, so I did 11 rounds of 1 single crochet into every stitch, and then after that we're gonna make a decrease. So to do that, after chaining 1 to start the round, I'm going to insert the hook into the same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. I have 3 loops on my hook, yarn over and pull all 3. So we're doing a decrease or single crochet together, and then into the next stitch we're going to work a regular single crochet, and then we will be repeating, inserting the hook into the next, and then into the next one, pull up a loop again, yarn over and pull all 3. So we're going to alternate 1 single crochet and single crochet together to decrease the stitch. By the way, the total number of the 11th round is 21 stitches. That's the total amount of stitches around, and then into the 12th round we're working a decrease into every stitch around. So we keep doing that until we get to the last stitch. Then when you finally get to the last 2 stitches, or if you get to the last one, just work 2 single crochet, or 2 single crochet together, and then we're gonna work a slip stitch on top of the first single crochet together that we've made. So it doesn't matter if your work is crooked, because the Mang-Taè Doll is also like that, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So the next stitch is, we will still be reducing the stitch. So this will be like the neck part of our doll. So I'm going to chain 1, and then I'm gonna be working 2 single crochets together into each of those 2 stitches. So we will be doing that until we get back around. So this will be the neck part, and then get your fiber fill ready, because we will be stuffing it with the fiber fill before we move on to working the dress part of this doll. So now this is my last stitch, and as you can see, the neck part is narrower. And before we continue with the neck part, we will be filling this up with fiber fill or any yarn scraps, so that this will be the head of the doll. So this is the fiber fill or toy stuffing, and we're going to put it inside. So make sure to just have enough. So you can buy these at a fabric stores, or you can buy this one online, but it'll be much cheaper if you're gonna buy this at a fabric store, because it's quite bulky. So this will be the head, and it doesn't have to be perfect because the real Mang-Taè Doll is quite crooked. So now I'm going to slip stitch into the first stitch made, and then I'm going to join the next color of the yarn, and that's gonna be in gray. I'll just chain 1 and fasten this off already. And then join the gray color. So for this dress is, I think the real Mang-Taè Doll's dress is gray 1. So what we'll be using next is this gray color, and let's say you would like to use or to do the center ball instead of using the outer part of this yarn. All you have to do is just get to the center. Usually you have to get to the center part, and sometimes it's easy to get to the center part, and sometimes you just have to pull more. Next is we're going to join the gray color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work a stitch anywhere into the last round. It could be difficult to find, but you just have to get to the back loop. So we'll be working into the back loop only, and later on I will show you why we're skipping the front loop. So this is how I join the yarn. So I'm gonna chain 1 and then 1 single crochet into the same loop as where I chained 1. So now we have our first single crochet, and chain 1 does not count as a stitch. Now into the next back loop. So we will be working another single crochet. So continue working until you get back around. Okay, so I'm just going to push those tails so that it will not be seen. And then the next step would be slip stitching into the first single crochet that we've made. So the next part is we will be working an increase. And to do that, regardless of how many stitches you've made, in my case I did about 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches around, and we will be increasing twice into each round to create the dress. So I'm gonna chain 1, 2 single crochets into the first stitch, and then I'm gonna work 1 single crochet into the next. I already did 1 single crochet into the next one, 1 single crochet into the next, and then I'll be working 2 single crochets on this one, on this side, and then 1 single crochet into each of the last remaining stitches. There. So that's what we're going to do. We will keep increasing into this side and this side until it forms like a cone. So chain 1, then I'm gonna be working 2 single crochets again, and then 1 single crochet into each of the next stitches. Once I get to this side, I will work an increase again. So So it's just very easy. You can follow the increase that you did last time, and on the second single crochet of the increase, you may put there your next increase. So we will just be repeating this until it forms like a triangle. So that's what we're going to do, and we will keep doing that until it forms the dress of this doll. So this is what it looks like after continue working an increase on this side only. So as you work in rounds, add an increase onto this part and this part only, and you can lay it flat so you know where to add an increase. So what I usually do is work single crochets, and then I'm folding it this way so that I'll know that this is where I will work my increase. So this is actually the part where I fold it like this, looking like an inverted pyramid, and then I will keep working one single crochet into each stitch until I get to this part, and then I will add an increase. And then I will just continue it until I get to the desired size of the dress. Alright, so this is the 15th row, and as you can see, we formed a pyramid right there once you started increasing on these two sides only. Now I'm into my last row, and when you get to the last row, after working a chain 1 on the 15th row, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to work my first single crochet into the back loop only. So into each back loop only, I'll be working one single crochet into each stitch, except of course when I get to the fold in here where I will do my last increase, or 2 single crochets. So it's easy to spot. Once you get to the fold, that is where you will add your 2 single crochets or increase. So that's how simple it is. And then keep working 1 single crochet into each stitch, and when you get to the next fold, that is where you're gonna add your last increase. And then after that, I'm gonna show you what to do next. Alright, so I'm getting into the next fold. So this is where I will add my increase or 2 single crochets, which I have been doing since I started the dress of this doll. But the difference is, into the last row we are working in back loops only. So we're almost done with the dress. There you go, I'm into my last stitch, and then I'm gonna work a slip stitch into the first single crochet made. Alright, so after chaining 30, I'm gonna add one more, and then into the next stitch, into the back bumps only, I'm going to start working a single crochet. This will be the strap for this mini backpack for the Mang-Taè Doll. Alright, so once you're done, what we're gonna do next is we're going to sew this in here, and then the other one goes to the bottom to make the two straps at the back. So next is I'm going to be chaining one, or maybe I don't have to. I'll just leave a long tail for sewing, and then we're going to attach it to the back of the backpack. So this is the backpack, and you can do, or you can use black yarn instead of the dark green that I've used, because I just want the green yarn. And then you're gonna add some fiber fill in there, and then the last thing that we're gonna do is add the base of this Mang-Taè Doll, the buttons and the lips. So I'll be using a lanolin yarn for sewing the eyes and the mouth of this Mang-Taè Doll. So I'll be using just one strand to sew the buttons, and since I don't have the black and the teal button, so what I will do next is I will just use whatever button that I have. So it doesn't have to be the same color. You can be creative by adding the button that you have there.